Hey, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I got Keish on the line with me, and there she is. Hey, Bree.
Hey everybody,
Hey,
happy
Bree.
H
Yeah, I was telling Keish that Trish is not going to be with us tonight. She's still trying to recoup from after the storm last week, so she's going to take a little bit of a break this week.
That's understandable. I hope everything works out for you, Trish, and everyone in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, it was rough down there, seriously. So, hopefully everybody is okay. With everything that happened down there last weekend, because those storms in Houston was, yeah. I mean, destruction isn't, I don't know if that's the best word for it, but it was pretty bad.
Oh, I hope everyone's okay. But I'm glad everything's starting to kind of get back to normal.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty, so we are finally talking the end of May sweeps with both the young and the restless and the bold and the beautiful. Welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where myself, Keish, and also Bree will be recapping both the young and the restless and the bold and the beautiful for the week of May 20th through May 24th. May sweeps ended on the 22nd, which was Wednesday. So we are officially out of that era, but we'll see, because after the aftermath of everything we got to talk about, which to me it seemed like Young and the Restless is in an ongoing set of things. I mean, I don't know if it did. It was pretty good month for them, but I gotta say that it's just continuous. It's not like we had this big ending to May sweeps. Do you think so with Young and the Restless?
I agree. I feel there was some story developments, and I think Ashley was a big. Her storyline was a big thing for May Sweeps over on YNR, and I guess to start with Jordan. They definitely had more going on in B&B that B&B had nothing but toes. Every which way you turned. Nothing but toes. I was so upset with this episode. I had to watch this twice. Why did this, and I know we'll get to it, why did this man serve hors d'oeuvres of toes? It's a nasty foot fetish.
It almost seemed like a Halloween type wedding style party.
And what was that? The big like white toe with the black nail polish. Was that gummy bears or what was that?
I,
I don't know what that stuff
I
was.
don't know. I bold. They tried
Who
to
was
go
going to eat
over the
that?
yeah. Well, that Tom ate it, so he ate a toe.
Ugh. Oh my god.
Oh
Oh god.
man, make sure all of you guys hit that like button, and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. What we normally do is we recap The Young and the Restless in the first half of the show. Then we have a little bit of a kind of in the middle where we kind of do a little housekeeping. And then we do the Bold and the Beautiful in the second half. And then we have our Flip the Script segment, Who's Taking Several Seats, the Star of the Week, and the Pickle of the Week. All right. So, y'all ready?
Yes. And
Keep.
Gail Lewis, that was very funny, going toe to toe.
Yeah. Monique said they should have had a nine-toe salad. Oh my God, no.
They probably did.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into The Young and the Restless. I'm going to give a summary and then we'll break all the storylines down. So give me 1 second. All right. Come on, slow pokey. Okay. So for The Young and the Restless, for the week of May 20th through the 24th, Claire turns Kyle down for the job. Audra and Nate slam her door on Tucker when he interrupts their date, and Billy taunts Lily. Cole discovers Jordan in Victor's dungeon, and Mrs. Abbott deceives Tucker, and then Connor's condition deteriorates. Ashley collapses in Tucker's arms, and Cole calls Michael about Jordan. Nikki returns as Cole and Michael scheme to get Jordan in prison, and Alan talks to Ashley about her DID. And then Summer has a change of heart about Claire, and Victor thwarts Michael and Cole's attempt to take Jordan. All right, so I think the smallest storyline that we had this week is the one, well, two of them. The one with Lily and Devon and Billy sending them stupid flowers over there to to throw off Lily and Devon. What did y'all think about that?
Billy is doing what I expected him to do, which is to basically gloat and just hold that his position like a carrot just dangling in front of Devon and Lily, and they both look like they got egg on their face.
Yep.
Mamie told them. And this is exactly what they get. So I'm glad that Billy gave them the flowers. Well deserved.
Yeah, that was funny because she was like, "Ooh, who sent me flowers?" Now it wasn't Daniel, so I don't know who else could have sent you flowers, Lily. And sure enough, it was it was
It
Billy.
was no man.
What you got, Keish?
I agree. It was Billy being Billy, gloating about his new position.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I heard about what y'all tried to do, but yeah, it didn't work. So here's some flowers." I'm like, "Wow." But like Bree said, that's what they get because Mamie tried to tell them, and they thought she was a whole problem.
Yep.
And she headed back to Michigan, and she probably sitting up there like, "Oh well, I tried to tell you."
Yeah.
So we only got just a little bit of this part. Now, what did y'all think about when Lily ran into Nate and Devon? And I know Bree, she has a lot to say about Nate and Devon. I mean Nate and Devon, Nate and Audra. What did y'all think about her trying to tell him to get back to work, and then when he get there, they was like, I don't know if you should be dealing with Audra.
Didn't he tell them though that he was going out to dinner with her?
He did. She sure did.
I mean, they can say whatever, but this man had no problem getting involved with Victoria, and they were very against it. I mean, granted, it's very foolish on his part, but you know that he was going to do whatever he wanted to do. I didn't like the fact that she told him to get back to work. I'm like, calm down, girl. Yeah, she's doing way too much, and she's just an employee at that. She got a whole lot of other things she need to worry about. And I find it interesting that now she is okay with possibly splitting the companies up.
Right.
Now.
Right.
Well, of course she is now, because things aren't working out the way she expected them to, or thought that they would. And I mean, at least she said it. She was like, "I regret it."
Yep.
She put all that trust in Jill. And for what? All because what you consider her like a motherly figure. You consider them the grandmother to the children. And clearly that meant nothing to Jill.
Yep. Now, y'all saw that preview for next week where Jill is telling Billy, keep this from Lily. I'm wondering what that's about. And that's not even in Monday's episode.
I think they're going to terminate Lily.
Ooh.
I think they're going to fire her. And I think, actually, because they're going to have some sort of resolve with Daniel's lawsuit. What if she's like against like settling with Daniel?
Well, wasn't she originally, when they had a vote, about a month ago or so, Jill wanted to give it back to him or something, didn't she?
Yeah, she agreed with Billy. She's like, hey, let's settle it. It's not worth it. We have plenty of money. Just give him the whole thing. And Lil was like, no, I want to be petty, please. It's not my company, but I'm going to use your money for the lawsuit to pursue this. And I think if Lily is still trying to pursue it, and Billy and Jill are still against it, they might end up firing her because she's a liability.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what that's even about. I wish it was on. I saw Monday's episode. I wish it was on Monday's episode, but yeah, we probably got to wait till Tuesday or Wednesday to see that. But you know, it all goes back to Mamie tried to tell you.
She tried to tell him several times. She tried to work with him. She tried a lot of things. And this is exactly what they get, and I'm kind of here for it. And maybe this might get them to really think smarter, especially Devon. And the fact that all of this made him had to run back to his daddy for help.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
as long as he doesn't lose his, I'm gonna be at the end of all of this. I'm gonna be extremely pissed if they have Devon lose his company to jail.
Mm-hmm.
All of this for a couple of different reasons.
Yeah, I hope that's not the case. Oh my goodness. And the thing is, Billy was for splitting the company. Mamie was for splitting the company. Even Devon, we knew he was wanting to split it. He wanted out. You know, and now hopefully they can get their wish before maybe another curveball is thrown. And like you say, Keish, I mean, if it's a situation where Devon loses Hamilton Winters, oof, yeah, that's going to be bad. Yep.
Could he put himself in a position to lose that company like that?
It depends on the contracts or what they signed when they merged that company into Chancellor.
That was so stupid on his part to agree with that. Lily needs to take a huge L.
Yeah, because she was the one that pushed this whole thing.
My goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You got Billy just gloating around, going around to different cities to let everyone know that he's in charge. Meanwhile, Chelsea is going through all this and her boyfriend is jet setting.
I think that I see some shifting going on, and I'm wondering, you know, because if you, I guess I can kind of, y'all like spoilers over here. So, I'm gonna give a spoiler out there for Monday. Chelsea is thinking about taking a leave of absence from, Summers. What's the name of her company?
Marchetti.
We hardly ever hear about Marchetti, so it's like, what's your company name again?
Yeah, Summers partly at Marchetti.
So it looks like, and then now that pushes, because now they're trying to push Sally into Chelsea's position. So I'm wondering, are we going to see, you know, Chelsea as much? Adam is supposed to still stick around because he got, you know, he can go back and forth. So I don't know. I'm wondering if, because remember we was just talking about that the other day with Audra only being, her storyline being stuck to Tucker. Sally has just not have, I mean, except the, you know, the loss of the baby and her sleeping with the two brothers. She really hasn't had anything going on really in Genoa City career-wise, right? Nope, exactly. So I'm wondering, maybe they've been listening to the fans because it looked like they're going to now try to push Sally into Chelsea's position.
And good. I'm so happy for that. Sally is a spectra. She's in fashion. And I would love for her, and I forget who said it in our group chat, I would love for her and Audra to like have a company together. Audra has a business sense and knows how to get the clientele, and Sally can just focus on designing. I think that's a perfect match made in heaven. And it'll give them both something differently to do, especially Audra.
So, didn't Summer originally try to hire Sally way back when, or was it no? I don't remember. Or was it just Chelsea that she went after?
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Chelsea after Chelsea had her episode.
So, has there ever been any issues between Sally and Summer?
Except for her dating her dad.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I was wondering how they're going to because when I saw that, how is that going to transition? Do Sally and Summer even get along? But they know how to finagle that if they want to do it.
I feel like we haven't really, at least since Summer was recast, I feel like her and Sally haven't really interacted like that.
No.
Ever since their little storyline ended with the other Summer, there hasn't really been between them.
They had interactions, especially after Sally became pregnant. And I think she kind of got on Sally because of her feelings for Adam, and Sally was trying to deny them. And Summer's like, look, you're involved with my dad. He cares for you and you're pregnant and you're playing games with him. I think that was the last interaction that they had. And then since then, Summer hasn't been at work. So we haven't had to worry about anything.
Uh-oh, we lost Keish. I guess she'll pop back in. Go ahead, Bree.
We haven't had any other interactions between those two besides Summer's dad, but that's pretty much it. I wouldn't mind her working at Marchetti, but the likelihood of that happening is going to be 0.
Let me look at, because the spoilers are out. Let me see. Hold on a second. And somebody just dropped something in the chat about them oh yeah, okay, Friday the 31st, Summer calls a truce with Sally.
Oh, so she has no choice but to find
right. Oh yeah, we have some very interesting spoilers next week.
So you mean to tell me
Mm-hmm.
that Cuckoo Chloe's going to crawl back for her job to go work for Summer? Because, like, the whole purpose of Chloe leaving Marchetti was so she can work with Sally. And if Sally works over at Marchetti, does it mean Chloe's going to crawl and get her job back?
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think Chloe would end up going with her because it's not her own gig. You know what I'm saying? So I think she's filling in for Chelsea's job. You know what I mean? So I don't know how she would even be able to bring Chloe along.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be different if she was given a division, right? So Summer says, hey, you know what? Run this whole division, blah, blah, blah. You can bring in whoever you want. And she bring in Chloe. But if Chelsea's going on a leave of absence, which we don't know how long that's going to be. I don't know if Melissa Claire Egan is going to be maybe recurring or whatever. I don't know. And Sally is filling in. Oh, there's Keish. Welcome back, girlie.
I got a phone call, so it knocked me off.
Oh, okay, no problem. So yeah, I think it's just a situation that she'll be filling in that job position. So I don't think she'll be able to bring Cuckoo Chloe along.
She might, especially since she knows both women. She knows Sally and she knows Chelsea. She probably knows Chelsea's vision like the back of her hand, and that can kind of help Sally.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't see anything in there, because I think Chloe is on recurring too. Before the time that we saw Sally and Chloe, what was the week before last, where she was telling the business is folding, we hadn't seen Chloe in like 2 months, 3 months.
I feel like she pops up like every 3 months and
right.
does a few scenes and then she's gone again.
Right. So I don't know, unless she's going to be consistent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
It's like seasonal allergies.
All right. I think that was pretty much it with the situation with Devon and Lily. And then we kind of talked into Nate and Audra. And, yeah, because she's so mad at Tucker because even though he lied, but he told her that he wanted to do this thing for Devon, she decided to just go scoop up Nate, and Nate was happy to be scooped up. And they having ice cream dates, drinking. What you say, Keish?
I said he sure was.
He was more than happy to be scooped up, having ice cream dates and drinking Tucker's expensive scotch.
being smug with Tucker.
What'd you say?
I said being all smug with Tucker about it.
Yeah, and then closed the door in his face, trying to be a knight in shining armor for Audra.
Right.
Desperate times from desperate measures, I guess. I guess there's no other woman in Genoa City, so he had to find whatever was in the sewer.
I just,
Oh,
oh my gosh, listen,
not that bad.
hey Keish, I don't know if you listened to the midweek chat, but Bree went in on that whole Audra and Tucker thing. She is not feeling it.
She's a whole mess, and what does she want out of this man? He tried to give this woman a ring not once but twice, but he wasn't going to do it a third time. He's not going to be Thomas. He was trying to give her a company to run, like money that she can spend, like anything that she wanted, and it's conditional. She's a transactional type of girl. Just let that be known. And that's why I don't understand why she's so upset with him wanting to help out Devon. Devon's not going to go anywhere. Granted, Devon doesn't deserve to help. I do agree with her with that.
Mm-hmm.
But Tucker is going to do what he feels for his child. Why is she mad at that?
See,
that made no sense to me.
You know what? And that's the part that gets me as well, Bree. I could see if he was trying to... She thought he was trying to get back with Ashley or really being taking care of his ex. This is a situation about his son. And this is when she decided to kick him to the curb. Yeah, that didn't make sense to me. I would have expected her to kick him to the curb when he walked over to the table and she was talking to Dr. Allen or whatever and he inserted himself. You didn't get mad at that.
Yeah,
it was kind of weird that they chose this to be Audra's breaking point with him.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't bother me either way because I was never really on board with her and Tucker being together. I mean, I don't know. I think they're good scene partners, but as love interests, I was just never into the two of them. So I know you hate it, Brie, but I don't mind her at all with Nate.
like I said on Wednesday, if he wants to fall into the sewer along with the other Pennywise clowns, by all means, then do so. That because they all end up a mess after they leave the sewer.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. All right, but then we got, that takes us kind of to Tucker because now he was off alone to his own devices. And Mrs. Abbott decided that she was going to use this opportunity because she was listening to the whole argument at the GCAC bar. And she decided to take him downstairs and try to seduce him even though he wasn't buying it. And then, of course, her blackout happened and then she collapsed. What did y'all think about the fact of how Jack acted once Tucker brought her home?
He was being absolutely ridiculous.
Exactly.
His whole... He was more concerned about what Tucker was doing with her than what was physically and mentally going on with Ashley. Like, that's all he kept saying. What are you doing with my sister? Ashley, what are you doing with him? Why are you still here? It just, being ridiculous about it. And it's like, your number one concern right now should just be Ashley.
Right.
Like, how she got there, Tucker made sure that she got home safely.
Exactly.
But of course, they try to make it out to be Tucker is scheming or he's doing something nefarious, and it's like, he's been telling you guys for months now that there's something going on, and you guys have chose to just kind of brush it aside because of who it was coming from.
And on top of that, Tucker has done more than Jack for Ashley in the past couple of months. Jack was so stuck on being the shadow to Nikki that he neglected his wife, his sister, and the rest of his family. That he has the nerve to even come down and question Tucker. Tucker at least cares about his sister.
Right.
Exactly. And the thing is, if he truly wanted to do something nefarious or whatever, he could have took her anywhere else but putting himself in the lion's den with the Abbotts.
Yeah.
I mean, you think that he's going to risk coming into the Abbott's house knowing that the Abbotts can't stand him, especially Jack, to say, look, I'm still going to take you to your house.
He'll always be in a no-win situation when it comes to her, because had he just left her there,
Mm-hmm.
and when they found her, she would have said Tucker was the last person I saw. They would have been
Right.
on his back about why he didn't tell anybody or why he didn't help her.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, Jack got on my nerves, and I'm glad that Tucker was like, he raised his voice too. He was like, the real thing you need to be concerned about is what's going on with your sister.
Right.
Exactly.
And
Jenna,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Jenna hit it on the head. She said it's not Tucker's fault that she's sick. So true.
Yeah,
They want to blame him.
they sure
They're trying
do.
to blame him for it, telling them that he was the one that triggered her condition
The other,
because of that incident in Paris.
yep. And the other thing is, Abby still don't know, and now at this point it's twofold. At first, I kind of put the weight on Jack and Tracy for not telling her, but she's been put on notice, and she still didn't take the time to see what was going on with her mama.
I'm gonna put both Abby and Finn in an early seat because they both have been checked on their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Got all these other things to do, but cannot check on the women who raised them. Okay.
Yeah, I don't understand why, unless there's another plot line that's coming down the road where Abby is just shocked out of her mind. But it's like, out of all of the people that, in that family that knows what's going on, and Billy knows, Jack, Tracy, of course Tucker knows, and you don't include Abby in that storyline, but she's busy over there with Chancellor Winters throwing off votes. I mean, yeah, I don't get that part. There's another piece to this that's got everybody talking, especially for those that seen Monday episode, is there was a part of the conversation that Alan had, I forgot his last name, but Alan, the doctor, had with Ashley, saying that there was something that happened after Tracy and Tucker left with the time that Ashley was still in Paris that's unaccounted for. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I'm picking up certain vibes, I'm not 100%, that maybe Alan had something to do with this. What do you guys think?
Oh, that didn't cross my mind.
I mean, a lot of people are talking about. We were talking about it on Wednesday, and there's some folks talking about put a pin in it. I know it's Alan.
My only theory is maybe he slept with Ashley, but it was really her altars, and maybe she was aware of it. Possibly, I don't know. Because there's something a little off with this man. And I feel like he wasn't too fazed by her altars. Or maybe that's just me. It seems like he knew who each one was.
The other thing people are concerned about the fact that why does he want to take Ashley back to Paris with him?
Yeah, that was weird to me.
Yeah, and I'm like, and I can understand like his practice is in Paris. I do get that, but I mean, you can give like advice, like tell a doc and say, hey, like meeting face to face.
She said tell a doc.
Something like he could say like I'm meeting her face to face pro bono. I'm a friend of hers. I'm close. I'm already here in the States. I don't know why he needs to take her to Paris. And everyone's mentioning the car crash. Was that it? I thought that was in Genoa.
I thought it was in Genoa City too. Because I thought that was after she got back. She left the GCAC, headed home, and she had the accident, and then she told Jack about it when she got home.
Right. I think she had like imagined that she was in Paris in the car accident, but she was in Genoa City when that took place.
Right. The actual accident, I think, was in Genoa City.
I don't know. This is... I definitely feel he has something to do with it. It's hard for me to tell what it is again, but I think my personal guess, I think he slept with Ashley and thought it was one of her alters that slept with them. I don't know, something to that effect.
What else? And I'm wondering if she's going back to Paris. Eileen Davison does multiple projects, so there's times where she comes and goes, and she take a little bit because she's filming something else, and so I'm wondering if this is also an opportunity for her to, maybe do one of our other projects. I guess we'll have to see.
Jenna said it was in Paris. Okay, I'm gonna look it up. I'm trying to find an episode once we get off of here.
Yep, so we'll see what happens with that. She does, by the way, on Monday decides to go to Paris with Alan. And Tucker is also headed to Paris at the same time.
Everybody going to damn Paris.
Well, he's going because Audra is undermining the businesses that Glissade acquired. So he's going out there to fix that problem, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a collision course with something going on in Paris, especially since the two of them, and then Alan is in the mix as well, so something is probably going to go down in Paris.
Everybody's going to Paris. We can't get Audra and Thomas together. She's been dying to go to Paris. He right there. Just go, girl, and give us some good storylines. But yeah, Tucker's gonna fall down that rabbit hole. But at least he got out the sewer first.
He's so funny. So we'll see where that goes. All right. We also had Nikki back. That was a quick rehab.
I see. She's a whole new person, and she looked great. But I'm like, that was a week.
Yeah, was it a week, 2 weeks, maybe tops?
Yeah, I think it was a couple weeks.
Now I do know that filming is about a month off, and if you calculate the time back to mid-April, her birthday was April 17th, Melody. So I'm wondering she probably had that time off during that time period as well. So I guess they kind of gave her a break. But in regards to this whole storyline about her sobriety, what did they give her? A detox in the vein or something that just like, oh, I'm refreshed and we can go outpatient now?
It must be like 24/7 consistent therapy, I guess. This is like some superhero like strength or something. Just fully recharged and ready to come back. Like, I'm here, Victor.
Yeah. My baby. Oh, Lord. Crockpot Queen said it's in rehab about 30 days.
Apparently not for the rich, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess not for a billionaire's wife.
Well, you know how they have to move things along.
Yeah. So, I mean, she can't be off for, I guess a month or 3 months or whatever. They can do that on Bold, but, Young and the Restless, different story. Yeah, she came back refreshed, looking glowing, looking like a whole new person. But she gonna get slapped with an ultimatum next week from Diane.
Oh, wow.
I don't blame her. Like, look, you know what? You need my husband to get the same ultimatum that Steffie gave Finn. You need to stay away from my husband. And you need to stay away from Nikki.
Has she told that to Jack?
That's coming up this coming week, or the week of the 27th through the 31st.
Okay. So we expected that during this whole week that she just left the house. She left the Abbott mansion.
Who?
Diane.
Oh, we haven't seen her this week at all. I guess we to assume that because and Jack looked like he ain't mourning, so.
No, he just carrying on like nothing happened. He's not. We haven't seen him like send a text message to see if she's okay, and this whole and we had this whole business thing that Diane was sitting at the bar waiting for, and Kyle took over that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised she hasn't gone to Jack to complain about, the stuff going on between her and Kyle and him over it, undermining her. He just doesn't give a damn about his wife.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't. Yeah, I mean, whatever was that early this week with the argument between Kyle and Diane
That
about
was last week.
that was last week. Okay, about
I
the
thought it was that was last week.
was it Monday? Hold on, let me see.
I think it might have been Friday and then Monday's episode. I think it was those two episodes. But this was when Kyle had like override Summer about making Claire the nanny.
Oh yeah, that was on Monday when Claire turned him down.
Yeah, and then Diana came home and found out that Kyle took over the business.
Oh, that was Monday. You're right, Keish.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was Monday.
Yes, he was being a total jerk to Diane.
Yeah. And I'm like, where is her husband to try to neutralize something? Can he do something? He's just going around town. He's supposed to be like the owner running that whole company, and he just leaving his wife hanging like that. Not to say that she deserves it. Not saying that at all, Jenna. Please, don't come for me. Like this, he's just being a piss poor husband.
Yeah, he was so focused on trying to be, running up behind Nikki and always accusing Tucker, but your own son and wife are at each other's throats. And then, of course, you almost unalived trying to save Nikki. So, yeah, you're absolutely correct.
And he had a nerve to go to Victor the other week to check on Nikki. And this is right after he comes home from almost unaliving himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you still checking on this woman? And now we still have no interaction between you and your wife still to this day, and she has all this stuff going on. Yeah, I hope she really gets into him next week.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we will see. And I think that should be happening, I think, on either Wednesday or Thursday episode of this coming week with that ultimatum from Diane. What else I was going to say? Oh, yeah, so back to the whole situation with the conversation with Kyle and Diane, and I kind of talked about this with you on Wednesday, Bree, about the fact that if the client says, I ain't too comfortable talking to Diane Abbott, however, Kyle, he used to be the CEO, I always work deals with him, I'll do the deal with him because I think he's a little bit more competent. He goes and do it over the phone, whereas Diane was still waiting there, and then the client called her after the fact and said, hey, I already closed the deal with your son, and then she got mad. What do you think about the whole pathway to this whole thing? Was the client, because he was like, look, bottom line is we got the deal closed, and she was like, no, you tried to undermine me. Do you think that was undermining, or this is the client picking and choosing?
I think it's a bit of both. I feel Kyle, if anything, should have gave her a heads up instead of having his mom just sit there at the bar waiting and for a business meeting like that. I thought that was disrespectful. And if I was in Diane's shoes, I would feel like, okay, that's a bit sexist. I'm the CEO. My husband put me in this position, and you went to my subordinate because you feel that he can handle it more than me. So I would feel like, okay, I understand you want to close the deal, but if we close this deal, that person has to still interact with me. I'm still the CEO of this company or co-CEO of this company. So you can't just assume that you can just go to my son for whatever instead of me. I have to approve all those directives. So I'm not sure where Kyle's head was at. I mean, the guy, whoever that the client was, they're going to feel how they feel. But I feel Kyle, if anything, should have gave his mom, the CEO, the heads up.
Okay, wait a minute. So because the client called him, so are you saying after he got off the call to give her the heads up? Because she was already there when he got the call.
He could have sent a text message saying, hey, The client reached out to me. They want to close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay with this, with me doing this going forward, instead of just assuming
I'm
quick
listening.
actions?
Blackpink Me in the comments section said Diane is not qualified to have that position anyway.
It doesn't matter though.
Yeah, most of Genuine City is not qualified for the position.
Right. It doesn't matter if Kyle feels she's qualified or not. That's the position she's in. So him basically doing things behind her back or doing what he did by not even letting her know that he spoke to the client while she was sitting at that restaurant waiting was disrespectful.
Okay, so CC Gonzalez said it's the client. He knows what's worked for him, and if that's what he wants, handle it or lose the deal. Business first. She's out of line. What do y'all think about that comment?
Kyle is out of line. It doesn't matter if that's what the client wants. He still could have handled it in a way to where he was not going behind his CEO's back and just completely disregarding and disrespecting her position. Like, he can listen to the client and hear what the client says about what his desire is, but because he works under Diane, he still owed Diane the respect of calling her and letting her know this is what the client said. How do you want to handle it?
Exactly. And what if it was Jack in that position? Is the client going to go to Kyle versus Jack? Like, whoever's in that CEO position, they are in charge of the directives there. So Kyle needed to follow the hierarchy. That was his job, and let her know, versus her sitting there at a bar waiting for the client. That was just very bad business, in my opinion. Regardless of what the client wants, the deal hasn't been made. As far as I'm concerned, the deal hasn't been made. We're meeting to go over a deal, and if there's an issue that you have with me personally, we can discuss that, and then I can appoint who I decide to handle that contract. My son doesn't decide who does what.
Right.
Okay, so do I think he maybe could have sent a text or whatever? I don't know. This could have been $1 million deal. We're talking about big companies at the C-suite level. So I'm wondering, and that's why we didn't really get a lot of context, of course. All we know is that she was waiting for a client. He was actually on the phone because the client called him. And of course, he wants to get the deal done, whereas the client should have also maybe say, hey, maybe had a meeting with them and say, look, you know what, I kind of want to handle with both of you together or something like that. But clients they do what they want because they're paying their money. So it's an interesting situation because I can see both sides. I can see that, look, this deal got to get done or else. And if I want this person to do it for me, I need him to do it. At the same time, I also see the other side because there has to be a line of communication between Kyle and his mom. So I can kind of see both sides in this situation because clients, depending on how big that deal is, you got to get it closed. Whereas on the flip side, there's got to be a line of communication between Kyle and say, hey, mom, listen, so-and-so, Mr. So-and-so is on the phone with me right now. He wants to close this deal now. I know he was supposed to meet with you, but he's trying to get this done, and I can answer some of these questions that he wanted to ask me. And then go from there. I just think that this was, but that's just my opinion.
It would have taken Kyle 2 seconds to call her.
Yeah, or text her.
Well, that's why I said text her, because he was in the middle of a business call. So, I mean, you can't tell a guy, oh, let me call you back. And you'd be like, wait a minute, I just called you. I'm trying to close this $1 million deal. What we doing?
To me, the other thing, though, that looks bad is you and your CEO you're basically not on the same page.
That's Jack's fault.
And Kyle is an adult, and he's been a CEO. He's an executive. So that can't be put all on Jack.
Jack shouldn't have never made. Yeah, Jack shouldn't have never made Diane a co-CEO. She's not qualified. She knows she's not qualified, but she took it just because she wanted Kyle to have the position in the first place.
Jasmine Williams made a very valid point. Kyle has all kinds of wrong facts. Kyle campaigned for Diane to take the job. She offered to resign, and both Kyle and Jack said no. So I don't think the underhanded deals in his nasty attitude. He has a very, very nasty attitude. When she confronted him after she left the bar, the way he was acting really got on my nerves.
Very bratty.
Yes, and I'm like, she is, if anything, has been on your side, even after finding out that he was trying to take over Jabot from underneath Jack with Tucker. Like, if anything, she's been nothing but on his side, especially when it comes to this job stuff. She's like, look, I can go to my husband and try to tell him to step me down or something. I think what he wants is for Jack to fire her. I think he's doing all this stuff underhandedly and making it seem like, well, they trust me. They entrust me to do this. I think he wants to push Jack in a position to take that job away from her, and then leaving it to be no choice but to put Kyle into that position.
Yeah, Amaya, that's pretty simple and easy. Amaya said, look, they make three-way calls. Those are free. They could have did that too. Let me get Diane on the phone with us. He could have did that too. If the guy, that'll would appease both sides. So if this guy wanted to talk to Kyle, and at the same time his mom needed to be a part of the conversation because she was originally supposed to meet with them, there you go. Three-way call. Like, Mom, listen, hold on a second. Let me get my mom on the phone. Mom, I know you're supposed to meet him. Guess who's on the phone with me? Let me bring you into the call. Boom. There you go.
Plus, it's 2024. They can Zoom call like they do everything else. Like,
there's literally no excuse for him not to have involved her.
None. He made a choice to do so. He was happy with those choices. And the way he acted towards his mother really proves that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so now what do y'all think about the situation with Kyle telling Claire? Now I did not like this at all. As much as, I'm up in the air when it comes to Summer, he still tried to hire Claire as that to be a nanny for Harrison without the approval of Summer. And even Claire was like, no, I'm not doing it unless I get Summer's approval.
Claire handled that girl.
Wait a minute, what'd you say? I didn't hear both of y'all were talking at the same time.
Sorry, go ahead, Brie.
I was going to say, he was smelling himself. Mm-hmm. He really is.
Yeah, I feel like Claire handled that correctly.
Yep.
Because I'm not going to, if I know that this child's mother has an issue with me, I'm not going to accept a position where I'm his nanny, because that's not going to do anything but bring more drama and cause more issues and animosity. And Claire seems to actually want to, I guess, form a relationship with Summer, and her accepting that job knowing that Summer didn't approve of it was not going to help her cause in that area. So, I don't know, in my opinion, Claire handled that situation a lot more maturely than what Kyle did, by just basically disregarding Summer's concerns and offering her that job anyway.
Mm-hmm. I was so happy about how Claire handled it. That kind of changed my viewpoint on her just a little bit. Mm-hmm. But the way she kind of stepped into Summer's shoes, like, oh, she's not okay with it. She even tried to tell Kyle, like, I identify how she's feeling, and because that's how my mom felt about everything that happened. And it didn't seem like Kyle was even care to hear all that. I understand him being a parent. He wants to just make his kid happy, and regardless of how Summer feels, he just wants to just take the nightmares away, whatever was going to make Harrison happy. I get that, but it was underhanded to just say, you know what, we're going to hire her regardless of what you feel. Oh well. I didn't like that, but Claire did a really good job, even pulled Summer to the side. Like, this was very, very smart on her part, because she knew this would be the key to getting her job, and it worked out for her in the end.
Yep, because by the end of the week, after Nick tried to have a conversation with her, and that whole, I think that was today's episode. Was it today?
Yeah.
Yeah, today's episode where, Nick and Phyllis was sitting across the table. Now, Phyllis was trying to be neutral, even though she was kind of more leaning the Summer side. Whereas Nicholas was like, look, I had my issues with her at first, but, we see a different side of her. And she was like, I ain't ready yet. And that's fine. She get to choose to feel how she want to feel. Until she saw Harrison at that park. And then she was like, okay, he got a big old smile on his face. He's happy. Let's just go ahead and we can meet and spend some time and, see how we can make this work. So she finally gave in.
I was happy for that. That she really put her feelings to the side for her son, and I appreciated that. It shows that these two women, both Claire and Summer, have more maturity than the father.
Yep. So, yeah, but it looked like they're trying to push together a Kyle and Claire coupling or something.
And that's fine. I'm okay with that. I mean,
just like they're trying to push Cole and Victoria together. I mean, I don't know. That seems.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Oh, there you go. So when she says Scooby Dooby Doo, you guys who may want to understand where Bree is coming from, she tends to think that Cole kind of resembles Shaggy from Scooby Doo. So
look, all he needs is his mystery machine. And, I'm like, why are you choosing to go see what Victor is doing? You know that never ends well. And then you incorporate Michael on top of that. And I'm like, you just sneaking around, just looking for clues. And I'm like, okay, Shaggy, you gonna find out. You need to run to your mystery machine and leave it alone.
I know one thing. Jordan thought she had a way out. She found that wire and coming out of that mattress, sticking it through that keyhole to pick that lock. Victor was like, I don't think so.
She knew better than that. She's like, I picked locks before. I'm like, no, this is a billionaire lock.
Oh man. But I mean, what was gonna if Cole and Michael hadn't interfered, right? Which it comes to a resolution on Monday. What was Victor expecting to do? Had this woman just rot in that cell?
Is he still prepping her for whatever revenge?
No.
Oh, did he give up on that?
Yeah. Well, again, this is a spoiler-free channel. Well, not spoiler-free, but y'all like spoilers. So, on the Monday's episode, for those that did not see it, Michael and Cole talks Victor into it because it's just not a smart idea. Somebody eventually is going to find that woman down there, and Michael ran off a slew of charges that Victor could be taken on, and so he conceded. They chloroformed her, and now they're going to just tell the police that they found her on the riverbank where she claimed she jumped, and take her to a maximum security prison.
I'm just looking at this picture at the bottom right corner. They're all just taking in this smell.
Yeah, them Brussels. Just the. Oh, people were asking what that silver thing was in the corner by her bed. If you look closely, it's a sink of some sort. So.
Okay, so she's able to give a 304 bath. Okay, somewhat. I don't know if it's working, but still the stench for the past couple of weeks, and they're all just looking at each other, just taking it all in.
And it was weeks because on Monday, that's what they say. Victor, you had her down here for many weeks. So, because we were trying to figure out how long she was down there.
She was smelling herself. She said, it stinks.
It stinks. Yeah, that was what, Tuesday's episode when I sent y'all that clip. It stinks in here. It stinks in here.
She was down there for as long as however it was that Nikki was in rehab, right?
Yeah, well,
I would assume so.
So it would have been like a couple weeks then, right? Yep. So, yeah, she couldn't get out of there. But yeah, Cole. And here's the thing: I don't know. The reason that Victor even knew that they were there, because when Cole was down there the first time, he left a little secret door partially open.
They had to get some air out.
Well, the thing is, Victor came over there like, somebody been up in here, and he knew that Cole was suspicious of him.
He
So
wanted to do smells to himself.
and did y'all see he put that sensor at the side of the bottom? He was like, okay, I'm gonna figure out somebody been in here. He put a sensor down there, and that's how they got caught.
Oh my goodness. I don't understand what was the purpose of keeping her there. And I guarantee the person who's going to find this woman is Nikki.
Well, she gonna get out on Monday, so she,
Oh, yeah. But, like, how is he going to explain this to his wife? Because eventually it's going to come out that he kept her alive during this whole time.
Yeah, because the only one that'll blow that whistle. But then, okay, so this is how they said it, because Victor thought of that too. He asked Michael, what if she go around telling the courts that I held her down there? Michael said that because she's a sociopath, a psychopath, that they're not going to believe her, that she'll just be lying. And, they'll, because she has so many crimes, they're not going to pay attention to that. So they're trying to throw this whole ball of a wax of a storyline to an end. Because, I mean, this has been going on since, September, October? Yeah, since going into November sweeps of last year. So, I mean, Jordan been around for a good, 7 months now? So...
And since then, Claire's had her whole redemption tour.
Right.
And Jordan still can't seem to move her storyline along.
Yeah, so they're gonna, and how she go, and that also gets rid of the lie, because remember Victor was telling everybody, oh, she's gone, she ran off the edge of the bridge. Well, the new story that they're telling the cops is that her body washed up on the riverbanks and that she's alive. So they can't say that Victor technically lied, even though he did. So it kind of cleans up a lot of the loose ends of the storyline to bring it to a finality. Until Jordan break out of maximum, security. But
Victor's such an idiot.
He's a sadist. He was down there trying to be sadistic because he wanted to torture this woman. He wanted her to feel the same pain that he did Nikki.
Victor has a smell fetish. I mean, we've learned about these men's fetishes for the past couple of weeks on both of these soaps. Victor and Deacon's. This is just both plain nasty on their part.
Yeah. Jenna, you so funny, girl. Jenna, so a lot. I know I kind of broke it down kind of fast. On Monday, you'll see the whole thing play out. Okay? So, who's going to find her? They already found her. They're going to call the police, bring her body over to the riverbank because she's been chloroformed on Monday. They put her to sleep. So they're going to drive her over there to that riverbank and then have the cops pick her up.
I'm surprised that Shaggy even wanted to put her in a regular facility. I mean, after everything that Jordan did to Claire, I figured Shaggy would be, okay with what Victor done.
Well, the thing is that Cole sees him. If he doesn't say anything, he's now implicated as an accessory to Victor's crimes, which is why he want out. Even Michael said the same thing on Monday too. If we don't do anything about this, and because him and Cole know, they're now a part of Victor's crimes, and they don't want to be a part of it. That's why they want this whole situation with Jordan cleaned up.
Oh, okay. Well, good for them.
Yeah, they explain all of it on Monday.
They really expect for Victor to change his spots, but okay.
Yeah, that man, please. He enjoyed every minute of the torture.
Exactly. He doesn't have to worry about the police because there's no police. There's no DA. There's like only a couple of lawyers, but we don't ever really see them on screen. So he can get away with pretty much whatever he wants now.
And then he also was told that he have to destroy this little jail cell too, because if this don't exist, nobody in the house can find it because it's not there. And then if Jordan tells the story about being there, there's nothing there to prove it. So not only does he have to set up that whole thing but putting her on the riverbank, but they have to destroy the jail cell too. Yeah, they're really. I don't like how they did it because they trying to close up the storyline pretty much all in one episode, and it's like, okay, you've been dragging this along for months, and now, bam, you trying to clean it all up and get her out the way. So, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Key. What'd you say?
No, it's time to move on with this.
It is.
It's just a lot of unnecessary stuff. Like, if anything, like, he should have allowed her to get arrested when they found Harris at the hotel.
Yep.
And called it a day.
Yep. But you know what? That whole Harrison thing was in April, right? So they had to try to throw a little bit extra in there for May sweeps. So, like somebody said, we'll probably see her either in the upcoming sweeps months. Who knows? She'll break out of jail in November.
Oh, Lord.
Exactly. Then the only other thing that we did have this week was the conversation between Claire and Victoria, and I kind of touched on it a little bit, that they're trying to put Cole, and she was like, I'm not trying to be like a little kid who want their parents together, but I'm like, well, you trying to get your parents back together. Come on now.
I'm like, okay, Douglas.
Right.
And Kelly.
Exactly.
And Beth. All the kids.
So to me, having those two together is probably like watching paint dry.
Victoria
and Cole.
Yeah.
You don't want to see Shaggy and Daphne be together?
I mean, I don't see any. Usually, like, and I think we were talking about this on Wednesday, Bree, about couples adding spice to the other one, because we were talking about Finn and Hope, remember? And we was like vanilla and vanilla together. You know what I mean? Whereas, what'd you say?
They cancel each other out.
Right, and like with Thomas, he brings the fire to Hope. We have Steffie bringing the cha-cha-cha and the fire to Finn and Liam, right? But, putting Cole and I mean, Victoria's always been the ice queen, even though she's been nice lately. And Cole just seemed like, he's a cool guy. You know what I mean? So
Victoria's still Victoria, because she was still mean to Summer, but she's only somewhat nice because she's not at work.
Yeah, but she's not like a feisty, fiery that brings the heat to a coupling. Nate brought that heat to her. Remember?
That is true.
You know what I'm saying? So, we lost. She must have got another phone call.
They calling you, girl.
Yeah, Nate brought the heat to Victoria, and then I'm trying to think. Billy brought the crazy chaos to Victoria. You see what I'm saying? Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, Billy and Victoria. Oh my goodness, she loved that chaos.
Oh yeah,
she for that chaos and everything.
Yeah, Billy brought edge to Victoria. Most of the guys that come into even Ashland Locke, he's just ruthless, tycoon. It's always somebody that's bringing that extra edge and spice to Victoria. But Cole, I don't know what that's going to look like. It'll be sweet. I'll just say that, I guess.
It would be unwatchable. Well, I don't want to say unwatchable. It would just be, just there. I felt like Cole and Ashley, when he first came back and they had that little interaction, they had more chemistry than he and Victoria did. I personally thought so.
Yeah, they could have went with that, kind of creating a little something with Ashley, but they were so focused on creating this little family with Claire, so.
They just, to me, they just don't, I don't know what it is. I feel like Cole looks like her grandfather.
Dang.
I don't know how to
explain it.
Yeah, something about his appearance that looks grandfatherly. I think that's why I don't really. I can't get into the two of them, but I agree with you with Ashley. I thought him and Ashley looked.
They fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They fit, and I think like when they did the flashbacks of them two together, they looked really good together. I don't think he's a bad looking man at all.
I don't think he's bad looking. It's just the way they dress him. It ages him, because when he had on that suit at the at Nikki and Victor's party, I was like, man, he looks like a totally different guy in a suit. But when he went back to the dad jeans and the tuxedo flannel shirt, it just, I don't know. It's crazy how a wardrobe can age somebody.
Yeah. Oh, really, Amaya? She said Cole was always older than Victoria. She married him at 19. He was 30. Oh,
yeah, because I remember them being, they weren't okay with it at first because he was so much older.
Okay, so she's technically in her late 40s, and that would make him almost, if not 60.
So he would be about Ashley's
age, exactly.
So that fits. So maybe once Ashley gets herself together, we might see Ashley and Cole together. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah, and even it's not even really the age thing for me, because I thought her and Ashley they look good together. But Ashlyn also, I don't know. I don't know if it was the way he carried himself or it was because he had suits on all the time.
Which
I don't know
Ashlyn?
What it is. The original Ashlyn.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. I didn't mind Robert Newman playing Ashlyn Locke. I'm just so upset that they got rid of that character. He could have been so utilized for a lot of storylines. He could have been with Phyllis. He could have been with Ashley. He could have been with Audra even. There would have been a whole lot of use. I hate when they have new male characters on the show and then they quickly get rid of them. That's why I hope Alan stays on at least to mix up some love storylines on the show.
You're talking about that professor guy, Alan? Who was Alan?
Her doctor.
Oh yeah, the professor guy. Yeah, okay, the doctor guy. Yeah, I heard that they extended his contract.
Good, because they need more male people that's not related to anybody on the show.
Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I don't know. Jenna said we haven't seen them get romantic yet. I mean, but they've kissed.
Kissed a couple times, right?
Yeah, and then the conversation that Claire had with Victoria was like, "Well, yeah, we've been talking about it. We just been focusing on you, So I don't know.
Still, we probably won't see any love scenes. We haven't really seen a whole lot of love scenes in the past couple of years on YNR.
Yeah, I know.
Audra. I feel like Audra and Kyle was in the bed every week.
And then we got that fake wet shower scene with Claire and with Summer and Chance.
I was getting ready to say, where are you going with this?
Shut up, girl.
What?
I said fake because it was like, I don't know, they wet her hair, and I don't know, it was weird, that scene. And I've seen a lot of people in the comment section ask where Chance is. I haven't heard anything official yet, but I've been hearing on the rumor mill that he might be on recurring status or they let him go. Did y'all hear anything about that?
Yes.
I guess they were still trying to negotiate his contract or something.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
They better. Okay, that's a fine piece of man, and they let that go. No. Like, he could be with a lot of different. They could utilize this man. He's actually a decent actor. I just don't understand why they took him off the police force to go work at Chancellor Winters, and we rarely see him over there.
Right.
We don't even know what position he has over there.
He should have stayed a cop. I liked him better when he was in law enforcement.
Because we haven't seen him. I think the last time we saw him was when he was talking with Summer when they were looking for Harrison, and that was it.
That was it. Yeah, Calvin P. is right. He said ever since COVID, love scenes haven't been the same. I mean, we used to have some hot love scenes on Young and Restless.
Oh, yeah.
I just saw the clip of Devon and Abby Somebody posted a little earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I totally forgot about how
Yeah, they were all over that penthouse.
But it's like few and far in between. Whereas like we were spoiled last year with soap. They were just getting it in every chance that they got, and it was
Mm-hmm.
fun and hot to see. And Y&R used to have those scenes. That's why
Mm-hmm.
I got excited this week when I keep seeing like Nick and Phyllis like just getting along, and like, I'm hoping later down the line that they do get together, since we won't get Lily and Nick together. But I'd be
Mm-hmm.
okay with Nick and
You know
Phyllis.
what? They never readdressed that whole thing. Remember when they put Lily and Nick in that one scene, and it was like,
got my hopes up.
girl, they got a lot of people hopes up because that whole spoiler came out talking about, oh, Lily and Nick reconnect. I'm like, okay, and
I think that
nothing.
was a Kim test.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. I don't even know what they're gonna do with Lily now.
She'll never have a man.
Mm.
I can't. Who else could she go to?
What did y'all think about Lily and Chance?
That would be hot. That would be hot. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't find it that either.
Yeah, because that would really stick it to Daniel. Like that fine, gorgeous piece of man. Just.
Wait a minute. Did
Ugh.
you say fine, gorgeous piece of man?
Piece of man.
Girl, you crazy.
This tall drink of water. He's beautiful to look at. I just wish that we had like more shirtless scenes with him. And that's just me being selfish. I'm sorry, Jenna. I know that's your man. I'm so sorry. But I'm just throwing it out there for the writers and producers. Please utilize him because we love him over here.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Okay, so did we cover everything? I think we did.
I think we did. I think the only thing was like Chelsea and Adam.
Oh yeah, the OCD story.
Yeah, that broke my heart a little bit. I'll touch on this a little bit, but
Go ahead, because that would be the last piece before going into bold.
yeah, that was just so sad and devastating that he feels that poor boy feels like it's his fault. Like
Mm-hmm.
I felt for all three of them, and it didn't seem like they're slowly putting Adam and Chelsea in their orbit together. It kind of seemed like they might be patching that family back up, especially since they're leaning on to each other. I hope it leads to that.
Oh, you want
If it helps
Chelsea
their
back
kid,
with Adam?
if it helps their kid, if because I don't know what they're going to really do with Adam and Sally at this point. I mean, they're cute together, but
I saw people posting online earlier that he asked her to move in next week.
Yeah, they you talking about Adam and Chelsea or Adam and Sally?
Adam and Sally.
Yeah, they still in love with each other. That Monday's episode, yeah, they're
I
good.
didn't see any signs of them in that scene, of either one of them, like, I don't know. I didn't feel like they were trying to make it seem like they were going to put the two of them back together. I just felt like it was them dealing with what was going on with Connor, and they were just comforting each other, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually, I feel that's going to be the ripple effect, especially since Billy's going to be so wrapped up with Chancellor Winters, and he's already he already left to go, parade himself among the other business people, kind of leaving her hanging, and she's leaning on to Adam. They're leaning on to each other, and I feel it's only going to bring them closer down the line.
Yeah. We'll see.
It happens that way. I don't. It doesn't seem like it's happening that way now. Like, if Chelsea was complaining about Billy not being there for her, then I would kind of see that. But she hasn't really been complaining about Billy, not being there for her to talk to, or she feels guilty for, I guess, always talking to him about what's going on with Connor, because she feels like
she's jumping on him.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I don't know. I still think that they need to, because it seems like Connor's getting worse.
They need to use their power and their wealth to get treatment out in Genoa City so they can monitor their child versus relying on this facility. Like, if my son is telling me, like, I blame myself for such and such, he's out of that facility. I need for him to be close near me. I'll call whatever therapist. Like, we're rich. We're going to make this happen. But he wouldn't be away from me. That would never happen.
Yeah, none of that makes sense to me because he wasn't what he's doing now with the OCD. It was not as bad before he left. It should be getting better, not worse. How come we can have Nikki turn around in 2 weeks and have a whole, yay, I'm home, I can go outpatient now, and this boy is getting worse?
Yeah. It's got to be leading to something bigger.
Right. I agree. All right. Now that we cover everything,
I think we're golden now. Let's move on to the 9 toes ceremony.
yes, indeed, the 9 toes ceremony. You so crazy. All right, so before we tap into the bold and the beautiful, make sure, how many people in here, Bree?
Thank all 130 of you tonight.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. All right.
Been steady this whole night.
Nice. All right, you guys. Thank you for the support. Also, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure that you're subscribed on this channel for the newbies here, because I see some names that I haven't seen before. Welcome. There's daily recaps on both shows for Young and the Restless and Bold and Beautiful. There are weekly spoilers, and then sometimes there's standalone videos as well. So you can also check out that on this channel. There's 2 playlists. There's one for Young and the Restless, and there's another playlist for all bold stuff, depending on what your favorite show is, if not both. TikTok, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook groups, Threads, X, and also on Rumble. I like to have a backup because who knows, with YouTube can be kind of shaky sometimes. You never know. So there are these same things also on backup on Rumble, which is kind of like a secondary version of YouTube. So, all right. And thank you guys for being here. I always got to thank the mods, and Jay is not in here. But also, of course, my co-hostesses, Bree, and again, my name is T, and then we have Keish. Trish is normally with us. For all of the newbies, Trish is out because, her situation was with the tornado situation last week in Texas. So, sending out well wishes to her. She's still trying to recover from all of that. And, yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. So let's move on to the bold and the beautiful. And I'm going to give a summary for bold, and then we'll break down whatever storyline. What is it, 1.5? Are they rolling together?
It was one storyline.
Pretty much.
It was toes.
It was. All right. So for the bold and the beautiful for the week of May 20th through the 24th. Steffie worries Hope is a bad influence, and Finn offers to show Hope what his hands can do. As Hope is confronted about her attitude to Sheila, Sheila begs Finn to be part of the wedding. Finn refuses to attend the wedding, and Brooke is infuriated when Hope considers to be part of the wedding. Sheila is thrilled, and Finn is confused when he accidentally stumbles into her wedding at the pizza run. And for today, Friday cliffhanger, Finn stays for Sheila's and Deacon's wedding. So, yeah, it's pretty much one run on. Well, let's separate that out because we got the whole little piece with the massage and what thin hands could do and all that stuff.
Funky fingers. I'm sorry. I'm looking at all the pictures, and it's just, I have so much to say. So we're starting with the lukewarm chem test between Finn and Hope. So I just wasn't a fan of it. I'm a germaphobe. I'm like, sir, you work in a hospital. You could have touched a bedpan. You could have been like drawing blood. And the first thing you do is you put your fingers in my hair, all over my body. And I'm like, you got a whole wife, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of talked about a little bit of this on Wednesday, Bree. What would Steffie say if he heard some of the things he was saying? Because he was staring at her, and Hope was like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And your name is perfect for you. I'm like,
That
Steph.
was too much. What was that? Like, oh my goodness, your name. Oh, it's the sun, the moon, the stars. I'm like, you have a whole life.
Yeah, the dialogue was more cringy than him giving her that head massage, because I honestly did not feel like that massage was him trying to be like
Flirtatious or something.
Yeah, it didn't come off as flirtatious to me. It didn't seem like she was feeling a certain kind of way, like when Thomas was massaging her.
Yeah, there was no tingles.
Yeah, so to me, like, that interaction didn't feel flirtatious. It didn't feel inappropriate or anything like that. It was the dialogue to me that was worse than the massaging, because why are you in here telling this woman how beautiful she is, how wonderful she is, that her name is perfect for her? Like, why are you giving her all these compliments? And she does it too. They both do that with each other. And it's like, that was that one little part that Brie was just saying, how her name Hope is so perfect for her because she's X, Y, and Z. Like, all of that was overboard and too much.
Yes. And it just wasn't. It's not even natural between those two. Whereas, like, Hope and Thomas, like, this woman had pulsations, and was that man was at the top of her thoughts even while she was married. And like the way that Finn was touching on Hope, I'm like, you're not creating no pulsations. There's nothing tingling. It did nothing for that girl. Not to say that he was trying to, but not a connection to where it's like, oh my God, Finn is touching me. I shouldn't be feeling this way. Like,
that's why that whole scene just felt like a total troll from the writers, right? Because they could have definitely written it for it to be a flirtatious kind of thing, but they didn't. It was clearly just him trying to help her with her headache. And her just wanting to get rid of the headache, and that was literally all it was. It wasn't meant to be sexual. So it was like, what was the point of this?
Yeah, I gotta mention
scenes with Lee. These should not have been scenes with Hope, because we still have not seen that man talking to his mother about Sheila.
I'm so mad at this. I'm so angry at that. All this time, I was expecting to see some interaction this week between he and Lee, or at least a phone call, or at least the effort. And this was such a disappointment, or at least an interaction between Lee and Steffie. Like, the fact that she wasn't written this week when all this is going on is mind-boggling to me. Like, we go from Sheila like terrorizing this woman pretty much in that doctor's office, and nothing. And Finn is just carrying on with his life like nothing happened. That's a disservice to fans, because a lot of fans are like looking for that piece of that storyline.
And he's not even in like a conversation with Steffie has he mentioned Lee. It's like it's almost as if she's been completely removed from his life.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, because I thought sure we was gonna get something with Lee in it, confronting Finn, or we got nothing.
I feel like they just completely isolated Finn from his family.
He isolated himself. He's so wrapped up in Sheila and like, oh, I got my birth mom back. I was expecting for Lee to pop up at Steffie's house, bang on the door, beat on the door, and say, like, I need to speak to my son or something.
Go to his office.
Yes, they work together. There should be no excuse. How is he able to carry on his work day and never talk to his mother about what's going on with Sheila?
Yeah, that was weird. That they didn't.
Weird writing.
Yeah, it's kind of like they just threw some wild stuff together just to get the conversation started. Because, I mean, obviously, with the sweeps month, there are endorsements and how much money is going to be allocated from how many people are watching and things like that. So it's almost like they threw a bunch of shock factors in there and stuff that didn't make sense to not only keep people watching but keep us talking about it, because when things don't make sense it create chaotic thinking. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wonder if it almost, it obviously is purposely done because they set the scenes how they wanted. But it almost feels like there's also an ulterior motive behind it because they can easily paint Steffie as a bully to Finn when it comes to Sheila. They can easily paint her as being irrational or being that controlling wife. But when it comes to his mother, the woman that raised him and adopted him, when it comes to her and Finn being in scenes together talking about Sheila, there would really be no, in my opinion, there would be no way that they could write that scene without making Finn look like a completely insensitive, ungrateful asshole jerk of a son by defending the woman who tried to kill his mother.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like she pops in and out, because before we saw the scene at the hospital when Sheila went for testing, we hadn't seen her since her and Poppy was together and she was talking about those mints. And that was back in March. So they're definitely not utilizing Lee much at all.
And what upsets me is she's a whole doctor. We had that whole Eric storyline. We had a lot of stuff that she could have been utilized for, especially regarding her son. The DNA thing. She could have been like going back and forth with her sister. I hate how they're not utilizing this character, and she's actually a talented actress, but in this particular regard with the Sheila storyline, it really makes him look like a jerk that he hasn't even contacted the woman who raised him.
Right.
And I saw this stuff online, and he's like, oh, that's not even his mother. Like, Sheila's his mother. Now, Lee is his mother. She raised that baby along with her husband. She made him to be the man, help raise that man so he can be who he is as a doctor. And she has been his parent. The fact that they disregard Lee is insane to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As if Sheila is Mother of the Year because she just passed on DNA.
Even the way Sheila talks to Finn. Oh, my baby boy. Oh, we've missed so much time together. Oh, I love you so much. This, that, and the other. And it's like, where's all this coming from?
I'm like,
did you contact this man when he turned 18? Or did you wait until you saw who he married before you contacted him?
Exactly. My point exactly.
Like, why did all this time that you missed as if somebody stole him from you? Like, cut it out.
And it's like she didn't have access to Jack. She knew who the father was. So, like, if Jack and Sheila wanted to, let Finn know about who their biological parents were, they both could have did that because they both lied to that man. But the person who's been consistent in his life has been Lee. And that's why it's so disrespectful that he's able to carry on with his work day and spending time with the family and having unnecessary conversations with Hope instead of talking to his mother about this big thing, especially since he's going around saying like, oh, I'm so happy that she's alive.
Right. I also love when Sheila tries to pull we're both mothers when she was talking about Steffie. We're both mothers. She should understand how I feel. And it's like that's not the same. Not at least not with Finn. Maybe with your other kids that you were around a little more. But not with this man that you met at 30 when he was 36.
Yeah. Yep. Now, what was interesting to me is that Deacon wanted Hope to be her maid of honor. There was no connection there. She's only doing this for her father.
I don't understand why he didn't ask her to be his best woman. Like, why
right.
That would have made more sense than being Sheila's maid of honor.
And he asked Finn to be his best man.
Which, again, no relationship there. they just became cool after Sheila died. Because he went and helped him look for her. Mm-hmm. But there was no relationship between the two of them prior to that. So that also didn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there really wasn't a relationship to Hope and Finn either, but they're shoving that down our throats.
Yeah.
That it was very foolish for Hope to even consider even that offer, especially after what Sheila did to her own mother.
Right.
That was insane to me. If I were Brooke, I would be going off. But once again, Brooke was very passive when it came to Hope today.
Because she kept saying how, and I think it's because of the fact that she tried to make this so much about her father. I'm not doing this about Sheila. I just want to be there for my dad. I just want to be there for my dad.
If that's so, then it would have made more sense for her to just be there and not be
in the wedding. Right.
Like, her just being there should have been enough for Deacon. But being her actual maid of honor, to me that was a step too far. Like, I'll be there and I'll stand in the back. That's about as much as you're gonna get from me. And I'm only doing this to support you. I'm not gonna stand up there and be that woman's maid of honor.
Yeah, because that throws Hope in a line of fire with the Foresters, and her constantly having to defend her dad by just, putting her in that position. I wish she just went ahead and said no, like, hey, I'll send you some flowers and call it a day. But I understand her reasoning for, I understand she wants to be there for him and show that she supports him, not necessarily the relationship with Sheila. But she knew this was so insensitive, especially to her own mother. If not anything else, her own mother would feel away, and she should have at least took that in consideration.
Hey, Keish, this is one of the things that you've always been talking about inconsistencies in writing, because not just that long ago, Hope put a ultimatum to her father.
Yep.
Saying that it's either you can choose to be with Sheila, but I can't come around you no more. And now it shifted so far to the opposite polar direction that now it's like I gotta be there for my dad because he's gonna be married to Sheila.
Yeah, and that was just last September, October, or something.
Was that in the fall? Something like that.
It was. I think it was sometime around the fall.
Yeah. I almost want to say late September or early October, something like that.
Because it was when Jackie was on maternity leave, because I remember her first finding out and then going over and storming in the Cliff house to tell Finn about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's when we saw the so-called first Kim test between those two.
And they've been doing nothing but Kim tests.
I know, right?
Well, they've put them in several scenes before the shooting, I think. When they had Steffie and Liam doing their little outings with Kelly, and remember they would put the two of them in scenes together.
Oh yeah, and he was talking down about Thomas, like you deserve better.
Oh yeah.
No, not that. This was back when he first found out about Sheila. And because they had scenes at the cabin, they had a scene at the restaurant, and that was when they first found out Sheila and Deacon were messing around.
Yeah, those were sporadic scenes. So they have really pushed the Kim testing since last year with these two, and they definitely really pushed it for February sweeps and for May sweeps with them.
They pushed it. What did you see in February sweeps with these two? Because all we had in February for the 3 weeks, because it's only 28 days, 29 this year, was the whole RJ and Luna thing, and then Sheila or Sugar going into Steffie's house on February 26th.
Wasn't she supporting Finn after what happened because he wasn't able to vent to Steffie about his feelings about losing his
mother? Oh yeah, they had a scene at Deacon's house.
Yeah, and then she was showing on her thigh meat, and then 2 weeks later.
Oh, that was like, what was that, in March or April?
Because it was right after Sheila or Sugar.
So that would have been in March, because that 26th of February episode was when Sugar was off, and there was only like a couple of days left in that month. But Sweeps ended on the 26th, 27th that month. Anyway, yeah.
I feel like this scene, these scenes in his office was really the first time that they tried some type of like for real Kim test. And it was just the dialogue, not even the massaging. I feel like was just a troll, because all the other scenes that they've had before have been, it's just been like normal conversation.
So you don't think and I remember Bree used to talk about that like crazy at Il Giardino when she had her chest all open. Remember that, Bree?
She had her whole
chest out. I didn't read into that. I mean, that was just the outfit she had on that day.
She had her whole chesticles out at the wake to be supportive for her dad. Her dad didn't even see her chest out. She had her chest out specifically for Finn.
I don't think so. That's not how I saw it. She knew. I don't think she was dressed like that for Finn. That's just what they had her in that day.
She has been showing thigh meat, shoulder, chesticles, back, everything for Finn.
She's been doing that though since her and Thomas.
Okay, hold on a second. Bree, where did you get the word chesticles from? Is that a...
Have they not though changed her wardrobe since her and Thomas have hooked up? This is how she's been dressing since July. Because she had that exact top that she wore to the funeral service. She's worn that before. She wore that in the office with Thomas.
Well, you can tell she definitely missed Thomas. She missed him styling her, because like the day that he left, I remember she regressed to being Little House on the Prairie. She had that white shirt on.
Oh my God.
So maybe she's dressing the way that she know that Thomas likes, and she listen her man, but she has been showing herself off and making herself available for Finn, and that's the part that's kind of unnerving. And she keeps complaining to Steffie about, like, you ship Thomas and Douglas out the way. I'm like, you have the ability to go on a plane and go see him.
Right, you got money. You can fly the jet, the Forester jet over there if you wanted to. Girl, bye. I lost everything. Okay, but where's Beth? You got Beth, girl? You still got Beth?
Who we never hear from, who we never see.
We saw Beth today or yesterday.
Yeah, we finally saw when Little Puke brought her over.
Oh, that's right. I must have blinked and I missed it.
And they made a sock, and then them girls made the perfect sock Muppet. Did you see it? Yeah, the sock puppet, I should say. Oh, that was too cute. All right, we gotta talk about this wedding, because we got tofu, and I don't mean tofu. Tofu.
This was so nasty. Who was really going to eat this? This man had croissant toes. He had cupcake toes.
Toe on a stick.
And he had that. Yes. What was that? What was the white toes with the black nail polish? Was that gummy bears? Was that?
Girl, I think it was some type of cake pop or something. I don't know. That was weird to me. But before we do that, y'all, I want to get an opinion on this. So it's on the screen. Give it a second, because I know YouTube is kind of slow. What did y'all think of her dress? Did it pop up on the screen yet?
It's taking a second.
Okay, hold on a second.
YouTube takes a second.
Let me know when y'all see it.
There we go. She looked beautiful in this. I will give her that. And her push-up.
Listen,
It does look good on her.
yeah, it does. I mean, and she wore a wedding dress true to form.
Yep. I'm glad she was honest and wore black. Brooke could never be this honest.
Oh my God.
Steffie worn black before.
I was glad she was honest, and then she regressed and wore a white dress. I'm like, see, that's what happens. You going into a marriage with a lie.
Yeah, she looks absolutely gorgeous. And honestly, one thing I know about Kimberly Brown, when she does these different either scenes with Deacon at the apartment, she maintains a good push-up bra.
She the push-up queen. For sure.
I'm like, you go, girl. And I mean, she is 62.
She looks incredible. Mm-hmm. She really does. Skin, hair, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, I think the dress was cute. They were saying it was supposed to be so amazing. I didn't know whether she was gonna wear black, beige, red, purple, or what. But it's good that they chose this black dress.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Vicky said, it is so Sheila. It's her.
Yeah.
It's very, Morticia Adams, and I love it. I think it's very nice.
Yeah. Yep. She kept it true to herself. Okay. I just had to put that because I happened to come across this picture and I'm like, oh, I got to use this one for the chat. All right. Back to what we were talking about. So we had tofu, we had vows, and I mean, okay, so just say we didn't have no hope there. She decided to not come. Finn went and got pizza, told Kelly, I'm not going to get no pizza from Jill Giordina. I'm going to get pizza from somewhere else. And it was just them two. I think it would have been a cute little thing for them. What do y'all think?
I mean, it would have been fitting for the two of them.
Yeah.
I guess.
Bree?
I guess.
What? I mean, I thought the vows were perfect. I mean, Deacon was like, look, you a criminal, and so was I. I spent a lot of years in jail.
We both convicts.
Listen, we both convicts. We both got a rap sheet. You know, you get who you qualify for, and they qualify for each other.
So romantic.
Yeah, I mean, they can't judge the other. They'll be hypocrites. You know, and I know Eric was like, oh my God, what is wrong with him? How could he choose to marry? Because they're in the same boat.
I'm like, Eric, how could you have chosen to marry Sheila?
Well, he acknowledged it, didn't he say?
Well, what Ridge did was try to deflect and say, well, you didn't know who she really was. She was on Y&R first, so.
I was going to say some stuff. I'm watching the earlier seasons, and this man, it would have been as simple as a background check.
I know, and I mean, Lauren crossed over. A lot of people crossed over that was in her crosshairs. So it's not like you couldn't have found out or know it. You knew you wanted to sleep with that girl, so stop it.
Exactly. He loves them bad girls.
Riz tried to clean him. Oh, that don't apply to you, Pops. Yeah, it do.
Lies. It definitely applies. Oh my goodness, because he welcomed that woman in. It would have been as simple as a background check before he even hired her. Sheila would never have been an issue on that show.
Man, listen, Sheila had a lot of guests. Because she had the doctor, what is that, James Warwick, and she had quite a few suitors.
Yeah. Massimo, and she's got quite a few baby daddies.
Yeah, so everybody was trying to get a little bit taste of the Kool-Aid.
Even Bill had to get a little taste.
Yeah, even listen.
I can't get over this.
Girl, Bree, listen, the thing is that Bill acted like it was absolutely disgusting. Listen, come on now. You still got a hard on either way. Stop it.
It wasn't even necessary for him to do. He chose to do that. He's been dying to get up in there. So to see what it was like. But the fact that he said that this is part of this mission to try to get Sheila in jail, even though she was in jail, but just try to get her back in jail. You did not need Peen to try to lure her back.
Wait a minute, Cheryl Hines said that she even slept with Scott Granger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Oh yeah. Sheila's been, she's wore that black dress for a reason.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Bill ain't fooling nobody. That's that crazy sex. Which is why Deacon was enjoying himself. By the time he got through with Sheila, he would be turning red, coming, oh, I can't breathe. Like, dude.
Whatever Sheila got going on, she made Deacon create a whole toe-themed wedding. I cannot get over this. This is the most nastiest thing. I would never go to this wedding. I would go to Brooke and Ridge's wedding versus an all toe wedding. Whatever she's doing with them toes, I guess keep these men occupied. Yeah.
Well, you know how they say when you cooking food, I guess Deacon decided to put her foot in it, so.
Oh, goodness.
And he even kissed that toe. He even kissed that toe last week. Remember this?
I keep telling you, he has a whole foot fetish. He was so happy to put them feet close to his mouth. That is so. And I'm like, she engaged long enough. She needed to get them feet soaked, and you're quick to touch. Like,
oh my
it is
God.
a lot. And I want to petition for B&B to no longer mention toes, show toes. I'm so through with it. I can't do it no more.
So Ron Julian said that Sheila's WAP is so good. That's why men can't resist her.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I mean, seriously, hey, they some kind of way. Eric was like, I can't resist it. So, and he's talking about why would he ever entertain marrying Sheila? Really? Yeah, you should know. And so much so, they, back in 2017, that whole scene where Steffie, was with Liam and popped off with the pistol, she was in the room with him helping him then. And he didn't have a problem with it.
Yep, exactly.
That was what, 7 years ago? That's recent. I mean, if that less than a decade ago.
Welcomed her into his GCAC and her and Quinn going at it and everything. He a whole fool. He loves he likes what he likes. He likes a little bit of crazy, and I guess he liked them toes too, I guess.
Girl, all them men like a little bit. All them that mess with Sheila, they like that crazy, psychotic sex. So that's what. And now Deacon is his it's his turn.
He get all them toes to himself, and good for him. He need to keep it with there. They gonna sit in a nice tuna can, and he gonna just put that whole foot in his mouth, I guess. And look, they gonna be happily married together, and good for them, I guess.
Is this a Bree? Is this Audra in the future? Not the psychotic part.
Well, first she had to want to commit to a marriage, commit to a relationship outside of anything transactional. So that's going to be really difficult for her to do.
Jay okay. Money is here. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jay.
Hi, Jay.
But no, this is definitely not going to be Audra. Now, Audra might be wearing a black wedding dress in her future. I do see that.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, so.
I mean, she's well on her way.
What y'all gonna do with your girl, Steffie?
Whose girl?
Mine.
Keep Keisha's like mine. That's my girl right there. Oh man, I don't. Okay, Keish, are you feeling how she's moving right now?
As far as what part?
Well, I mean, of course, because I know where everybody's standing in regards to her dealing with Finn, but has she just trying to tell everybody else what to do?
Who else has she told what to do?
She's telling Deacon what to do, telling Hope what to do, telling Brooke what to do, telling everybody what to do. About you need to handle this, you need to stop her from doing this, you need to stop her from doing that.
He called Deacon an idiot and said she doesn't understand how he can marry her.
The thing is, she has a lot of dictatorship with her, and she feels that people need to follow in command to what she says. That's the only part I really cannot stand with Steffie. Like, I feel for her in regards to her feelings regarding Sheila and her stance regarding her marriage with Finn. I fully support her with that. But her attitude is just very nasty to people. And like V. Carter was saying, Steffie is insufferable when she does that. It's just not very appealing, and I really want her to be knocked down a peg a bit, especially with the stuff that for next week. She's gonna be roasted next week.
She did say, that she doesn't understand how Hope could support them being, or whatever it was that she said. But she also said, you know what? If Hope wants to support her father, I don't care. I just want Finn to stay away from that.
Then she needed to talk to her husband. That's the thing. She expects for anybody who interacts with Finn to just control the narrative for him, as if this man doesn't have his own thoughts and his own feelings. And Steffie has to realize that Hope can say whatever, but Finn is going to do what he wants. Deacon can say whatever. Finn is going to do what he wants.
And look what he did today. He did what he wanted.
Okay, wait. We got to break that part down, though. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's the other thing I have an issue with Steffie. I'm like, girl, you just had to order this pizza at El Giardino. It couldn't go from any other pizza place. You guys are rich. You guys could have had a DoorDash, but you had your husband go to the restaurant where he may or may not run into his birth mother.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. This whole thing is weird to me. And I kind of talked about it in the recap. So on Tuesday and Wednesday's episode, we heard that the wedding was supposed to be at the beach. And then we never got any type of backstory of why it was moved to the restaurant. Then we got, because at this point, both Steffie and Finn think that it's not El Giardino, it's at the beach. The other thing is they put it off on Kelly on why he was there. Instead of, because like you just said, they could have ordered pizza anywhere. And we heard Liam say, well, you know how Kelly is. She loves the special pizzas at El Giardino, and we just had to get it from there. What'd you say?
So he said something like she's very particular about what she
Right, exactly. And so that kind of, it's almost, I don't know what the writers was doing. Instead of just letting it happen where it looked like they trying to at the same time save Finn. I don't know. It's weird because now when he get to the restaurant, he didn't even know it was closed. Then they tell him, well, we'll have your pizzas ready. Just hold on. And he ended up waiting in the meantime for those pizzas by standing up at the wedding.
And that's why he can't. That's why there's no saving him here, because he could have easily said, "Nope, I'm good. I'll go wait in the car. I'll wait outside." He didn't have to give in and stay there, and he walked right on up there, right next to Deacon.
Well, that goes back to
walk up there, and that is exactly why. Even though they tried to do this in a roundabout way by having him accidentally show up, he still made the choice to stand in there after Sheila asked him, basically begged him to stay. He still made the choice to stay there. He made the choice to stand up there by Deacon, and he made the choice to take the rings from Deacon and give them to the minister guy, because he wanted Deacon to be his best man. So, in my opinion, there's no excuses.
I feel like
nobody forced him to do that.
I feel like he was kind of reluctant in that choice because if anything, I blame Steffie. Like, why are you sending him, for one, to go to that restaurant in the first place?
He is a doctor. Damn near 40 years old. He could have easily walked out of that restaurant. Steffie.
I agree with that, but I feel like he was reluctant in that way. But
he wasn't reluctant enough.
He cannot win. I mean, he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Steffie in that order. Otherwise, he would never have shown up. He just went along just to get along and called it a day. It's not like he showed up like in a suit and a tuxedo and said, like, oh, this is my choice and I wanted to be here. His wife sent him there.
And he still could have walked out and said, you know what? I didn't know you guys were doing this here.
He could have sent Steffie to get the pizzas too.
He could have, but he didn't. He made the choice to go himself. And he could have told Steffie, I don't want to order from there. But he didn't do that either. This is not all on Steffie. Finn has to take accountability for the choices that he makes. Nobody held a gun to his head and told him to stand in that restaurant while Sheila and Deacon got married. Nobody held a gun to his head and told him to stand right next to Deacon or to take those rings from Deacon like Deacon asked him to and give them to the minister. He did all of that on his own. And regardless of if he was reluctant to do it or he was uncomfortable, he still stood there and did it instead of walking away like he should have.
Like an idiot.
I'm wondering, because looking at these spoilers, I'm wondering if the explanation is going to be feasible, but she's going to blame it on Hope. Because Hope is picking up a lot of the blame next week.
I think she's definitely going to point fingers at Hope and blame her.
Yeah, but I don't even understand how would she even arrive? It's not like she convinced him to stay, or that was like, honestly, he could have left. There's a lot of variables in this. He could have left. They could have just said, Kelly, we're not ordering from Il Giardino today. Sorry, ma'am.
Yeah.
They could have did that, Go ahead.
Her blaming Hope is the same way that Hope blamed her for Thomas leaving. Thomas and Finn are two adult men who made their own choices. Nobody forced them to do anything. Regardless of what Hope may have said to Finn previously, asking him to consider coming to the wedding, and regardless of Steffie telling Thomas that he should leave town to get away from all of the drama. Regardless of what either one of those women said to those men are adults and they made the choice to do what they did. And neither woman can blame the other or should blame the other, because it's that's basically saying Thomas is an idiot and Finn is an idiot and they can't make their own decisions for themselves. They basically do what other people tell them to do.
Well, you know what? That part that you said definitely applies to Finn. I'm looking in the comment section. People saying he need a backbone. He's weak. I said last week he was a people pleaser. He don't want to hurt. He's trying to be nice to everybody, and that doesn't.
Except for Lee.
We haven't really seen her, and that's unfortunate. I wish they would have played that out so we could have had context or some dialogue. But with what we have, he's just trying to appease everybody. And you just can't win like that. Especially when you got two people that's trying to draw a line in the sand. It ain't gonna work. And this is gonna blow up somehow. I'm curious to find out because Liam is supposed to jump in his face next week too.
Of course. What else is he gonna do? He ain't at work. He just gonna float around. He just might as well just be the babysitter, since he's always picking up toys and carpooling. Maybe that's his job. Maybe he doesn't work for Spencer. Maybe he's just a daddy daycare or something.
Yeah, it just seems like to me that Sheila and Deacon are, outside of this whole Finn thing, they pretty much enjoying each other, and they're living rent-free in everybody else's head right now. So
Yeah, just just one great big storyline for B&B.
I just feel like it's past time for Finn to just go home and pack his bags and move out, because he clearly cannot make a decision on whether or not he wants to be involved with Sheila.
I'm wondering, after all of this, why isn't Steffie just go ahead and cut him loose? Because even next week, this is going to be shifted on Hope. Why? Even though he's moving like he's moving, and whatever she finds out about this wedding, why she haven't cut him loose yet?
I don't know. That's what I was saying last week. Is I wouldn't have even given him the option. I just would have told him to get out, because I even proposing the idea of she's changed, I want to give her a chance, would have been enough for me to say I'm good, because clearly you have a poor judgment when it comes to people.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think I'm ready for them to break up. So do him a favor, in my opinion, Steffi. Please do him a favor. And let him go head on. The problem is, if they're going to keep Tanner Noveland around and they move him away from Steffi, Thomas is coming back. Now, is he going back to Hope? Where would that leave Finn? And then, of course, Liam would probably gravitate towards Steffi. So, that's why she's not dumping him and shifting her focus to Hope, because by the end of next week, they declare war against each other.
I would prefer to watch them argue over business than this crap storyline that's been going on for over a month now.
But then, okay, so then where does this leave Sheila and Finn then at this point? You know what I'm saying? So now, if she's not going to blame Finn, and she's going to focus on Hope next week and moving into this whole war, is Finn now still going back and forth emotionally over Sheila? I don't know. This is going to be interesting on what Steffi does next when it comes to Finn and what happened today.
They need to wrap up the Finn, Sheila, Steffi storyline. Like, there's no reason why 3 years later we're still in this same predicament. There's no reason why they have allowed Finn to hate her after that shooting for a year or so, and then revert back to, I'm conflicted. I kind of want to know my birth mom. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place because of what she did. I don't know what to do. Like, this was old 2 years ago, and they have continued to drag out and have him go back and forth with this situation pretty much the entire time he's been on the show. And it's like, close up the storyline. Either allow him the relationship and have him divorce his wife, or allow him to hate Sheila and just cut her out of his life.
Go ahead, Bree. You about to say something? That's a good point, though, Keish.
Yeah, I was going to say, he can't really have it either which way. And on top of that, he's promising his wife that he's solely dedicated to her and the family. And she's leaning on to him for, the protection of her husband. And he's putting her in a precarious situation, which he's choosing to kind of be in. He doesn't have to interact with Sheila. He's choosing to interact with the person who shot him. Mm-hmm. And it's his decision making is just unreliable, and his commitment level when it comes to Steffi is starting to become very finicky. So it would be beneficial for Steffi to go ahead and kick him out her house and let him figure out his issues with his birth mother, since he completely forgot about Lee.
Right.
Let them be in the same tuna can at Deacon's place and let them all figure it out together.
I mean, I know they probably wouldn't give him his own house, but I mean, as a doctor, he's probably making $500,000 a year. So hopefully he'll be able to find something or somewhere to go.
we would probably only see him in his office.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, we barely. I mean, Thomas finally got his own house after what 10 years.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Shoot. But and that was basically because they needed a place outside of the tiny cabin in the woods to smash. So, but yeah, it's going to be some interesting fallout when it comes to what happens next week. But a lot of this is going to be shifted toward hope.
And I cannot wait to roast Steffie because the nerve of her. And Brooke better not be passive like she's been for the past a couple of weeks now, and it's allowing Steffie to say whatever she feels like, and it's been like, oh, okay.
I don't
Brooke
know.
is never passive when it comes to hope.
Say it again.
I said Brooke is never passive when it comes to Hope and Steffie.
She
was passive. Was it yesterday and today when Hope was? But Ridge was in the room.
Exactly, because even
that was more about Deacon than it was about Steffie.
Even before that, before Thomas left, like Brooke and Steffie had like that back and forth regarding Hope loving Thomas, and the way that Steffie was trashing Hope to Brooke was very interesting, especially because Brooke was very quiet, and only because Ridge was in the room. Had Ridge left the room, Brooke would have let Steffie have it about her daughter. But she's been very passive and very quiet every time Ridge is in the room, and kind of just letting Steffie say whatever she chooses to. And if after next week Brooke doesn't say anything, I really don't see the purpose of Brooke being on the show.
Well, the other part is that I'm wondering who's pettier, her or Lily, when this comes with trying to cancel this girl's line. Now we now know that Lily kind of want to give Daniel back the piece of the game system, but at first she was like, no, it's my game, get out.
Only different. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Keith.
I was just gonna say, unless the line is actually bleeding money like it was last year when Thomas wasn't on it, that ain't nothing gonna happen to Hope's line. That line has been around for how long? They gave her that line when she was 17, 18, and she didn't work for her. And they've kept it around this whole time. I highly doubt that if Steffie is only doing this to get back at Hope, and there's no actual danger with the line like bleeding the money from the company like it was doing last year when Thomas wasn't on the line, that she'll be fine. You know, they ain't gonna let Hope lose her baby.
And it's so disrespectful to the people who's working on the line. Like, they were just talking about Zende and RJ and everybody working on Hope for the future. So you're just going to put those people out of a job or out of something to do at Forster Creations? I mean, it's very impulsive, which is kind of how Steffie is. But
I mean, if it's losing money, then I can't fault her for that.
But
if it's not beneficial to keep it around, I can't fault her for that.
But Ridge,
if she's doing it out of spite, then yeah, she's definitely being petty, and that would be dead wrong.
Yeah, well, Ridge and them was just talking about a couple weeks ago or so how well it's going, the line is, how well they're working together,
right,
and all of that. And so, according to the May 28th and 29th spoilers, well, the 29th and the 30th, this is all about the blame game, about whose fault this is when it comes to Finn trying to reconnect with Sheila. Steffie is blaming Hope for that. And after this whole argument, Steffie makes a threat, a serious threat, which is what we saw. That's on Thursday. So I honestly think she's being petty, because if the line is doing well, yeah, if the line is doing well, we just heard that a few weeks ago, and everybody's working good together, and
Well, this will be more entertaining than the Sheila storyline, at least for me.
Yeah, I don't even see anything for next week. It's about the war between the two of them, and Bill and Poppy and Katie.
which was so random. Like, we haven't seen them in months together. And that's like the most random thing.
What'd you say, Keish?
What is Katie doing?
Katie is trying to dig deep into Poppy and Bill's past relationship.
Oh, Lord. For what?
Exactly. Because, I mean, if this was 20 years ago, she wasn't even nowhere in the picture with Bill and this girl 20-some years ago.
And she's got a man.
Yeah, Carter. Exactly.
It's my man.
Oh, there you go. We do have something where Liam calls out Finn's behavior and Hope defends him.
Oh my goodness.
Well, she's been doing that. She's been doing that for the last couple, or whenever it was that Sheila came back around.
Yeah, but it's different when she, I guess she has been lightly doing it. I'm wondering. That's on Tuesday. So I'm wondering if Liam is the one that bring this information back
to Steffie. I can see him doing that. He'll gladly throw Hope underneath the bus so he can have Steffie in his lap. I can definitely.
Yeah, because the progression of it, that defense of Finn by Hope is on Tuesday, and then they go into this whole argument on Wednesday. So Liam must have gotten in the middle of being messy and told Steffie, Hope said blah, 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 blah.
Hope is a complete idiot. Oh my goodness. It's so my question is, so Liam is more concerned about Steffie and Kelly's safety. Sheila is officially married to Deacon, so that makes Beth Sheila's step-grandchild.
Correct. But he ain't saying nothing about that, but he's worried about what's going on at the Cliff House. Mm-hmm. That's why he's being disingenuous, because if it was about both of his kids, he would be unhappy about that same fact that you just mentioned.
And he ain't even mentioning Beth whatsoever, or her safety. He's not even the least bit concerned.
No, he worried about Kelly and the kids because of Finn being in the house. Sheila is now connected to Beth, sir, through marriage, because Sheila is married to your daughter's grandfather.
Yep.
So why aren't you making just as much noise on that side of the fence?
Exactly, especially with Deacon, because if Hope went ahead and supported her dad, so I'm assuming she's not going to stop him from seeing the grandkids.
Exactly.
Which means Sheila's going to be spending time with Beth.
She did say to, I can't remember if it was to Brooke. I think it was to Brooke and Ridge. She did say that she, at least I thought she said something about not allowing the kids around them or keeping the kids safe or something like that. So I assume that she is not going to let, maybe she's going to be around, but she's not going to let them like spend time with the kids.
I don't know how long is that going to last, because Deacon is going to want to try to see them kids at one point.
Because I assume that she knows that she knows how Liam feels, so I would think that knowing that Liam feels the way he does, that she wouldn't let Beth around Sheila. With Douglas, I would assume that Thomas would feel the same way, but I don't know.
Dewan said he wishes Hayes turned out to be Liam's child. You're not the only one. A lot of fans are saying that they should go ahead and just make the switch over to make it Liam's child. I'm like, whew. The writers did leave that opening where they can do that.
Are they saying that because of how Finn is acting?
With Sheila.
Okay.
They basically want Steffie to kind of have a clean break from Finn and like completely split them up and just make Hayes Liam's child.
Kay said Liam don't need no more kids, and every kid on this and she said every kid on this show can't be a Spencer.
That is true. Or Forrester.
Right.
I mean, as it is now, there's only one possible connection of dating that aren't biologically related, and that's Beth and Hayes. All the other kids are related to each other somewhat.
That is true.
Even Will.
Yep. Oof.
Yeah, that's just too much closeness for comfort. But I mean, Steffie did put Finn in that predicament, and the writers get swayed in a way to where, hey, it's Liam's child. Then he made a mistake again, and hey, it's Liam's child. Mm-hmm. They could definitely do that. I don't see them doing that, but
yeah, I mean, they could do that with literally anybody on the show. They did it with Ridge 40 years later.
That is a good point. They just, I don't know, but I feel like if anything, the only thing that's going to break up Steffie and Finn is Steffie and Finn, and they're both doing a great job at it, especially Finn.
So I'm wondering if they're even going to do that at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because unless there's additional fallout that they haven't spoken about in the spoilers, and then Bold and their spoilers can be kind of, but I'm wondering if they're just going to still try to keep Steffie and Finn together throughout this whole thing. If he explained it. I was there. Listen, I walked in. I know I stayed, but I waited for the pizzas. But I don't know. This is going to be interesting. Have the fallout on this.
Do you think it would have to take something extremely dramatic for Steffie to say, like, you need to kick rocks? Because she's okay with the fact that he has this connection to Sheila. She's not okay with it, but she understands it. It's not anything that's going to break up her marriage, just as long as he stays committed to her. Would it have to be something like an affair to break up Steffie and
with
Finn's
Hope
marriage?
Or somebody? You mean like with Hope? If it's Hope, that would definitely sever things.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing at this point that'll break them up is if he, cheated on her, or if she caught Sheila in the house with Hayes.
Yeah, that would definitely be a deal breaker.
Because the first time she caught her with Hayes, he did it behind her back, but this was before the shooting. Mm-hmm. This time, I think if she caught her with Hayes, she would be done with him.
Yep. So, did we cover everything?
I think so. That was only one story.
It was only one run-on story. Like you know how they call it a run-on sentence. This was a run-on storyline because it all connected to the same thing. It wasn't nothing except that whole scene in Finn's office with Hope. That was probably the only separate thing. So, yep. All righty. So let's now do our final segments, our flip the script and who's taking the seat, and the star of the week and pickle of the week. So for the newbies in the chat, and again, thank you for stopping by to listen to us. I've seen a lot of new names in the chat. I appreciate it. Our flip the script segment is if there's a particular scene or storyline that you wish you could change, that's where how we flip the script. So we're going to do the one for the Young and the Restless first. So what do you guys have for Y&R?
For Y&R, I really wish Audra just took the plane ticket and went to Paris to go be with Thomas.
Oh my gosh.
Just to keep her away from Nate.
It had nothing to do with Nate. It's just, I would like some type of spiciness for Thomas and really give Hope a run for her money and regret ever letting that man go.
Okay. What you got, Keish?
I'd say in that scene with Tucker and Ashley. I don't know. I was going to say, if I was Tucker, I just would have called someone and let them know that Ashley was at the GCAC, but I forgot she passed out, so that would have been cool. But never mind.
Okay, you didn't have anything else?
No, just drop Ashley off and leave instead of lingering around taking abuse from Jack.
Yeah, gotcha.
I want him to not care. but I feel like they're going to put Ashley and him back together eventually. So that's why they keep having him linger around her.
Yeah. The only thing that I technically probably would change is having Kyle three-way that call, like we said earlier, to bring her into it. You know what I mean? And therefore they can kind of discuss with the client together instead of the way that this was handled. So that's what I would change. All right, what y'all got for bold?
Storylines would have been nice this week. I would have flipped the script and added other storylines that we could focus on besides Sheila's toes.
Yeah, I would have had it where they didn't have to go to Il Giardino, and I wish that they would have gave us a backstory on why the wedding did not happen at the beach. Did something get canceled? Did it rain? What happened where it ended up at the restaurant and not at the beach? I missed that. I was like, well, maybe they'll say something in the Friday episode. We got nothing.
Yeah, they just said we changed our mind. That was literally it.
That was it.
Yeah.
I think that was really shoddy and thrown together. It's just bad writing to me. What you got?
I mean, clearly it was just the way to get Finn to be at the wedding.
Exactly. Exactly.
My flip would have been, instead of Finn having those scenes with Hope, that they would have been scenes with Lee.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, and that's what V Carter said. Her bold flip was to add Lee into the storyline. Yeah, and she also said get Finn a backbone.
Lee is probably one of the people that should have the most POV of this situation, in my opinion, because she was one of Sheila's victims. But it's like they're erasing everything that happened to her.
It sucks. I don't know why. I thought sure she was going to be a part of this storyline with this coming up on this wedding, but it just didn't happen.
And yes, I agree. Finn does need a backbone because he let them talk him into staying in that wedding, staying at the wedding, instead of just sticking with the no that he gave her originally.
Yep, and that means that Sheila got the dream wedding that she wanted, which was to have Deacon there, Hope being her maid of honor, and of course now Finn being there. Alright, so who's taking seats? So for the newbies in the chat, the take a seat segment is somebody was doing too much, they need to go sit down somewhere, somebody that just really got on your nerves this week. So that's how I take several seats. So what y'all got for Y&R?
Kyle and his daddy.
And his daddy. What you got, Bree?
I have Victor in a seat. We just need to keep him in a seat, in that red seat, and lock him in that dungeon with Jordan, so he can really take in that smell. That's what I was actually hoping Cole would do. He saw that trap door, he saw Victor go in, and he nailed that thing shut. So he can't come out.
Yeah. Yeah, leave him down there with the stench. He gonna tell her to eat them dirty Brussels sprouts off the floor. I'm like, really, dude? Is it that bad? And I was listening to or saw something where they said Eric Braeden really did not want to do this storyline. You know, he didn't like it too much. You know, I mean, you got holding this woman captive and torturing her to death. So, you know, but hey, it's a paycheck, I guess, right? My seats is, of course, Victor and Kyle. If I had to choose, because yeah, Kyle, especially the whole situation with hiring Claire without Summer's approval. It's like, really, Kyle? You was just gonna think that she was gonna be okay with that, and it was a good move on Claire for her to turn it down. So All right, and who y'all got taking seats for bold?
Finn and Hope.
Dang, that was quick.
I definitely have Hope and Steffie. I feel Hope was disrespectful to even accept knowing that what Sheila did to her own mother. And I'm put Steffie in a seat because this woman is lazy. If anything, she should have cooked the pizza. She should have been cooking in her kitchen. Finn shouldn't be remotely going to El Giardino because she refused to get her kitchen and keep her husband at home and keep her family together.
Next, Steffie can't cook.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I can tell they keep going to El Giardino. None of them can cook. Apparently, they had to go to Deacon for a meal.
Exactly. I'm gonna put the pastry cooks at El Giardino and all the tofu in the seat because it's like, really, you got toes everywhere. I mean, it looked like something out of a Halloween party scene.
It really did. And every last one of those toes, I think, had black nail polish. So we know what type of nail polish Daddy likes on his girl.
Well, there, if you look in the picture on the screen, there is a toe with white nail polish on it.
So they mix it up a little bit.
Right.
This is so nasty. Look at how he's holding it in the middle.
Girl, and yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know what they obviously, again, they wanted to get a rise and attention out of the fans, but it was toes everywhere.
Well, clearly that gets a rise out of Deacon.
I think they even had like a pig in a blanket type grilled hot dog wrapped in a croissant or something.
Yeah, they did.
And they had like different type of cannolis. I think there was like a red velvet cannoli, chocolate, all shaped like a toe with a toenail.
And then go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so they were just doing too much.
And then Trish even posted that picture with the toe on a stick.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that was you. Okay.
I just looked at that and it was like the most nastiest thing I seen. I was like, is this gummy bears? Is this like cake? Like, what is this? It was just too much. Like, who is really eating this?
Yeah, I mean, I understand that the toe was the integral part of identifying the difference between Sugar and Sheila. But my goodness, at a wedding, Deacon?
Yeah, I'm so tired of hearing about dang on toes.
I'm putting out a petition.
I hate it. So every time they talk about her toes, it's just like, oh, gross.
Yeah.
It's toe jam at this point. But I'm putting a petition for B&B or Brad, whoever has the foot fetish. We did not need to see this to this extent for the past months. It seems like almost every other word involved 9 toes, and it was just a little overkill for me.
Yeah, it was.
And they look more like fingers. Ain't nobody toe that long, is it?
I guess hers. Either which way, he has no problem putting them toes in his mouth or around his.
Oh my gosh, girl, that's crazy.
They crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, but they had to do that because they know that the fans was gonna see all this stuff and like, look at all it's for attention. You know what I mean? They grabbed everybody's attention. But anyway, it was disgusting. Now we have to do our star of the week for Young and the Restless.
The star of the week.
Oh, I can go. I'll give it to Colleen. She had me rolling.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Colleen zing, especially when it stinks in here. It stinks.
I'll give you that.
Oh my God. And when she was so happy to find that little teeny wire and her hair was all over her head. Colleen better get nominated next year.
I think she will. There's just no way. She's been utilized too much. I think she will. And I'll agree with you. She was definitely the star this week.
I really hate that they didn't make her to be a character that could have a more a more viable role to where she could stay around a little bit longer without there being some type of her like escaping from jail or running or something like that. She would have been such a great addition.
Yeah. All right, who's your star of the week on Bold?
Honestly, the only thing I can think of was Deacon's wait staff. Just the fact that they had to be there, they had to serve the toes, they had to endure all of that. I'm going to give them the stars of the week.
Okay.
I think Beth.
Oh, you gonna give it to Beth?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was saying just for being cute.
I'll even give it to Tom. He was funny. I always remember him from Star Trek from back in the day. But you know, he went from being the homeless guy to the officiant.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah, he had a come up. And Deacon put him in a suit.
I saw that. I was like, okay, good for you. Yeah. But notice we had to really dig deep and search and find a star this week on Bold.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I gotta give it to whoever designed Kimberly's dress. That was cute on her.
Actually, I'll actually be positive. The fashions this week, I'll give it to him on Bold.
Okay.
Like there were some cute outfits. Brooke has a couple of cute outfits. And we got Steffie's mini dress or mini skirt in the back. That was actually cute. Like I'll give the fashion star of the week.
Okay. All right. Who's the pickle? Young and the Restless. Kyle.
What's the difference between the pickle and giving somebody a seat? I forgot.
It's just sour. It just was like, it's just really distasteful. Like he was really rude, and even though Diane told him not to close that deal, he called the person back and closed it anyway. And then the whole situation with Claire, I mean, it was just bad.
All over the place. I'll give it to Billy's Flowers.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna give it to Audra. Her attitude, actually both Audra and Kyle, both of their attitudes this week was just they're both pickles for that.
How about that black leather dress she had on though?
That was hot.
Oh yeah, the girl rocked that dress. She rocked that dress.
It was very cute. I was like, I had to get that. I had to wear it one of these days.
And then the pickle for Bold. Uh-oh.
That's right.
The writing.
The lazy way they went about having Finn show up in that way.
Yeah. They tried to be creative to try not to make it so much his fault. That he wouldn't outright defy Steffie by just saying, I'm going anyway.
That was so lazy.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
One pizza in all of LA, in Beverly Hills and Malibu or whatever they're in, that's the one pizza that Kelly had to have. Like, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
I think the pickle for me this week would be the fingers and the toes for sure. Finn's fingers and this fetish for toes this whole week.
Yeah, I gotta give Finn that whole pickle one, how he was talking to Hope about her name and how beautiful you are, and any man would love to have you. And it's like, if Steffie was here and you say that, I don't know if you would be able to come home tonight.
I mean, he already said that he would protect Hope at all costs. A couple of months ago, so.
Yeah, that move. Yeah, that move right there wasn't a good move at all. And I mean, go ahead. What'd you say?
That was one of the most absurd lines I think they've given anybody on this show ever.
And of course, being that Hope's like attention, because remember, as much as Hope fed on the fact that Thomas was a one-woman man and I always choose you, she was also feeding on that attention that Finn was telling her as well. She didn't stop him to say, well, I don't know if you should be saying that, you're a married man. She was like, oh yeah, you're looking at me? Why are you looking at me? I'm like, girl, stop it. So.
She did thank him for the ego boost too.
Exactly. She loves attention. And especially if it comes at the expense of Steffie's husband.
I just thought of something real quick, guys. Since we know that she's gonna get rid of Hope for the future, do you think that Hope might step into like her mother's lane and do like a Brooke's bedroom?
I have a feeling that with this thread on the line, that might be the reason to bring Thomas back.
Yeah, because he put so much time and effort into that line, and for her to just say like, "Oh, we're gonna get rid of it," he would definitely have a lot to say.
Because even though he's in Paris, he's still working, right?
No.
He told Hope.
Oh, that's right. He took a break from the line, period. Okay.
Encouraged by Steffie.
Unless he comes back because he wants to save Hope's line.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Bad, but yeah, he quit on his own.
That's true. Well, we'll see you guys. So, y'all got anything else before we shut it down?
No, ma'am.
Nope.
All right.
All of it.
Yeah. I know I kind of covered some of the spoilers for both shows, but stay tuned for the official spoiler videos for the week of May 27th through the 31st. Also, Memorial Day is on Monday, so some of you guys may have the day off, so enjoy your long weekend. And I know some people might be spending time, with loved ones that they lost or with family or barbecues. So enjoy yourself and be safe out there. All right, you guys. And then stay tuned also for the recaps. And again, follow on all other social media platforms. So until then, you guys, we will see you later. Bye.
Bye, y'all.